If they couldn't recover, so that short workings will be transferred to profit and loss account. So in the fourth year, you are not going to transfer anything to the profit and loss account. Okay, so no need of last entry. So royalty is greater than minimum rent. So what is the amount payable to landlord? Royalty. Minimum rent is more than royalty. So thereby the difference is called as what? Short workings. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we are in the second session of Unit 4 of the subject Financial Accounting 1, and this is for first sem BCom student. So your Unit 4 is all about royalty accounts. So already we have discussed few of the concepts. So let us quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session, we have completely learnt about royalty. That is, we learned what is the meaning of royalty, then what are the accounts that has to be prepared, and journal entries on royalty, that is in the books of lessee. That is accounting for royalty. That is, we learnt about the meaning. Next, journal entries in the books of lessee. Then problem on royalty. So we had solved a problem where we had to prepare the royalty analytical table, and then we have recorded the entries in the journal. In today's session, we shall continue with the new problem. That is, go through the problem here. VSK Limited obtained a manganese ore mine on lease for a period of 20 years. Now, what is the duration of this manganese ore mine? That is on lease, it is 20 years on the following terms. Let us see what are the terms and conditions on which the lessee have taken the property from the lessor for lease. The results of first 5 years. So, they have given the results of first 5 years among 20 years. So, if you see 2008, so their lease starts from 2008 and they have given of first 5 years. So, 2008 output in ton they have given, that is 2900 output in ton. Next, 2009 3800, 2010 5200, 2011 4230 and 2012 6300. Next, we shall see other terms. A minimum rent of rupees 1 lakh for the first year. Now, what in the first year, what is the minimum rent? That is 1 lakh. Next, rupees 1,25,000 for the second year. So, in the second year, the minimum rent is 1,25,000. Next, third year, it is 1,50,000 per annum from the third year onwards. So, they have given 5 years. So, third year onwards, that is third, fourth and for the fifth year. So, the minimum rent is how much? 1,50,000. So, 1,50,000 will be the minimum rent. Next, what they have given? Royalty at rupees 60 per ton. Now, what is the output they have produced? 2,900 in 2008. So, each year, so we have to multiply with 60. In the sense, 60 per ton. Okay, so into 60 and 6,300 into 60. That is 60 per ton they have given. Of ore raised, short workings, if any, could be recovered in the next 2 years. In the sense, in the first year, if they have incurred short workings, then they have time of next 2 years. So, they can recover either in the second year or in the third year. If they couldn't recover, so that short workings will be transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, so hope you are clear. So, if they have incurred in the first year, so they have a time of second year as well as third year within which they have to recover the short working. Suppose they have incurred in the second year, then third and fourth year will be their time. In the sense, after occurring of short working, they have 2 years of time to recover that short workings. So, prepare necessary ledger accounts including minimum rent account in the books of VSK Limited. So, they are asking us to prepare the ledger accounts. So, hope you have understood the problem. Now, we shall directly go through the solution. So, first we have to prepare the royalty analysis table. So, this is royalty analysis table and rate of royalty, that is rupees 60 per ton. So, we have already seen. Now, what is the table here? Year, output, rate per ton, royalty, minimum rent, short workings recovered, short workings not recovered, amount paid to landlord. So these will be the columns. Now come to the first year. So the first year is 2008 and the output is 2900 units into 60 per ton. So 2900 into 60. So 2900 into 60. So if you multiply, you will get 1,74,000. Now what is this? Royalty. Okay, so output into rate, you will get royalty. But what is the minimum rent in the first year? That is 1 lakh is the minimum rent. Now 1 lakh is the minimum rent. So royalty is greater than minimum rent. So what is the amount payable to landlord? Royalty. So which one is greater? So that amount will be paid. Now royalty is greater, royalty is paid to the landlord. So there is no short workings because royalty is greater. Royalty recovered, that is short workings recovered. There is no short workings recovered. Short workings not recovered, and amount paid to landlord is 1,74,000. That is the amount which is greater will be paid to the landlord. Here it is royalty. Now come to the second year. So second year is 2009. So 3,800 units into 60 per unit. So that you will get the royalty. So 3,800 into 60, so you'll get 2,28,000. But what is the minimum rent? Minimum rent in the second year is 1,25,000. Now here also royalty is greater than minimum rent. So royalty is payable to landlord. So there is no short workings. There is no short workings recovered. There is no short workings not recovered. So the amount paid to landlord is 2,28,000. Now coming to the third year, that is 2010, 5,200 units into 60. So 5,200 into 60, you will get 3,12,000. But what is the royalty? So after, that is third year, and after third year, it will be 1,50,000. So third year royalty is 1,50,000. So there is no short workings, there is no short workings recovered. So in this situation also, royalty is greater than minimum rent. So royalty is payable to landlord. That is 3,12,000. Now coming to the fourth year, 2011, 4,230 units into 60 per unit. So into 60, you will get 2,53,800. But what is the minimum rent in the fourth year? 1,50,000. So here also royalty is greater than minimum rent. So royalty itself is payable to landlord. So there will be no short workings, no details on short workings. So amount payable to landlord is 2,53,800. Now coming to the last year, 2012, 6,300 units into 60 per unit. So 6,300 into 60, you will get 3,78,000. But what is the minimum rent? Minimum rent is 1,50,000. So here also royalty is greater than minimum rent. So royalty is payable to landlord. That is 3,78,000. So hope you are clear with the royalty analysis table. Once you are clear with the royalty analysis table, it is very easy to prepare the ledger account, at the same time journal entries also. Now we shall directly go through the ledger accounts. So first we shall prepare landlord account. So you know the format: year, particulars, ledger folio, amount, again year, particulars, ledger folio as well as amount. Okay. Now you start with 2008. So the first year is 2008. Now here royalty is greater than minimum rent. So what is the amount payable to the landlord? Royalty. So your entry will be royalty account debtor to landlord account. Royalty account debtor to landlord account. Now which account we are going to prepare? Landlord account. So how do we write? 2008 by royalty account. And what is the amount? Amount in the first year is 1,74,000. Next, second entry is what? For payment of amount to the landlord. So your second entry will be landlord account debtor. Landlord account debtor to cash or bank account. To cash or bank account. So landlord account debtor to cash or bank account. So how do you write in landlord account? That is to bank account, or you can write it as to cash or bank account. How much? 1,74,000. Next, your third entry is for what? So first entry is for amount due to the landlord, that is royalty payable to landlord. Second entry, you are actually paying the, or you are actually making the payment. Next, third entry is for what? You are transferring royalty to profit and loss account. Clear? Now we are done with landlord account. So what you have to do? Balance both the side. You'll get 1,74,000 both the side. In the same way for the second year also you have to do. So second year 2009, here also royalty account data to landlord account. In landlord account, how do we write? By royalty account. And what is the amount payable? 2,28,000. Next, here in the debit side, it will be to bank account, 2,28,000. So both the side it should be same. Next, coming to the third year, that is 2010. So 2010 also, royalty we are paying 3,12,000. So by royalty account 3,12,000. In the debit side, it will be to bank account 3,12,000. Now coming to the fourth year, 2011. So royalty is 2,53,800. So how do you write? By royalty account. So by royalty account 2,53,800. In the debit side, you are making the payment 2,53,800. Next, coming to the last year, here also royalty is payable 3,78,000. So by royalty account 3,78,000. To bank account 3,78,000. So hope you are clear with the landlord account. Next account to be prepared is royalty account. So what is the entry for royalty account? So your first entry. What is the first entry? Royalty account data to landlord account. So how do you write in your royalty account? To landlord account, and what is the amount? 1,74,000. So to landlord account 1,74,000. Now that royalty has to be transferred to profit and loss account, correct? So this royalty has to be transferred to profit and loss account. So your next entry will be profit and loss account data to royalty account. To royalty account. So how do you write? By profit and loss account. So in your royalty account, so first you will write to landlord account 1,74,000 and by profit and loss account 1,74,000. In the same way from second year to last year you have to do the same. Okay, now come to the second year, that is 2,28,000 is a royalty. So how do you write? To landlord account, that is 2,28,000. So 2,28,000 and here by profit and loss account 2,28,000. Next, third year also, what is the actual royalty? 3,12,000. So, to landlord account 3,12,000 and by profit and loss account 3,12,000. Now, coming to 2011. So, what is the amount payable? 2,53,800. So, how do you write? To landlord account 2,53,800 by profit and loss account 2,53,800. Next, 2012 also. And the amount is 3,78,000. So, to landlord account 3,78,000 by profit and loss account 3,78,000. And no need to prepare short workings account because if you see the royalty table, there is no short workings and there is no short workings recovered also and there is no short workings not recovered whereby we cannot transfer to profit and loss account. So, only landlord account and royalty account will be prepared. Now, coming to the next problem. The JK Coal Limited Company leased a land from landlord for 10 years. So, their lease agreement is for 10 years from 1st January 1998 on the following terms. So, let us see what are the terms and conditions of that 10 years lease. The JK Coal Company Limited shall pay a minimum rent of rupees 5,600 per year for the first year. So, for the first year, the minimum rent is how much? That is rupees 5,600. Next, with an annual increase of 560 in every subsequent years. Now, let us see for how many years we have to prepare. So, they have given 5 years. So, in the sense, for the second year, so the first year it is 5,600 is a minimum rent. For the second year, 5,600 and there is an annual increment every year, that is plus 560. Next, for the third year, rupees 5,600 plus 560 plus 560. Next, for the fourth year, rupees 5,600 plus 560 plus 560 plus 560 because there is an annual increment. Next for the fifth year, here also rupees 5,600 plus 560 plus 560 plus 560 and plus 560. Okay, so each and every year they are telling that in the first year the minimum rent was 5,600. After that they are going to increase annually 560 rupees. So this will be the minimum rent. The minimum rent is merging into a royalty of rupees 1 per ton. Now, what is the minimum rent or what is the royalty? 1 per ton of coal taken out with the power to recoup short workings in the first 3 years only. So, if they have incurred short workings in the first year, then they will have 2 more years to recover that short workings. The annual output for the years was as follows. So, they have given the annual output 1998 1,400. But rate per ton is how much? 1. So, 1,400 into 1, 1999 4,200 into 1. Next 2000 8,400 into 1, 2001 11,200 into 1, 2002 3,920 into 1 because 1 per ton. Prepare necessary ledger account including minimum rent account in the books of JK Co Limited Company. So, we have to prepare royalty accounts. As you all know, by entering the solution first, we will prepare the royalty analysis table. Now, this will be the royalty analysis table and rate of royalty is rupees 1 per ton. So, 1 per ton is a royalty per ton. Now, you know about the table: year, output, rate per ton, royalty, minimum rent, short workings recovered, short workings not recovered, and the amount paid to landlord. Now come to the first year, 1998, 1,400 into 1 is a royalty. 1,400 into 1, royalty is 1,400. And what is the minimum rent? Minimum rent is 5,600 in the first year. So 5,600. Now here, minimum rent is more than royalty. So thereby the difference is called as what? Short workings. In the first year itself there is a short workings of 4,200. So how did we get 4,200? 5,600 minus 1,400. So short working is 4,200. And in the first year we could not recover the short workings. Short workings not recovered because we have 2 more years to recover that short workings. Let us see in that 2 more years whether we can recover the short workings or not. Then we'll transfer to profit and loss account. So in the first year, the amount paid to landlord is how much? 5,600. Why 5,600? You have to compare royalty and minimum rent. Which one is greater? Minimum rent is greater, 5,600. So that amount will be paid to the landlord. Now come to the second year. 1999, 4,200 into 1. So 4,200 into 1, it will be 4,200. But what is the minimum rent? Minimum rent is 5,600 plus 560. So you'll get 6,160. Here also, minimum rent is more than royalty. So there is a short workings, correct? So how much is the short workings? 6,160 minus 4,200, you'll get a short workings of 1,960. So here we could not recover the earlier, that is first year short workings, because in the second year itself we have a short workings. So short workings recovered is dash, short workings not recovered is also dash, amount paid to landlord. So what is the amount paid to landlord? Here minimum rent is more than royalty. So minimum rent itself is paid to landlord. So that is 6,160. Now coming to the next year, that is 2000, 8,400 units into 1. So 8,400 into 1, so you'll get 8,400. That is a royalty. Then what is the minimum rent? 5,600 plus 560 plus 560. So you'll get 6,720. Now if you see here, royalty is greater than minimum rent, so that we can recover the short workings. Okay, so royalty is greater than minimum rent. So how much short workings we can recover here? That is, we had a short workings of 4,200, which has to be recovered in the next 2 years. In the sense, the duration of short workings to be recovered is next 2 years. But we have an excess of how much? 1680. That is 8400 minus 6720. We will get this 1680. But we have a short workings of 4200. We could not recover full short workings. We can recover only 1680. So 4200 minus 1680. So you will get 2520. So that 2520 has to be transferred to profit and loss account, because the duration was only 2 years. In that 2 years, we could recover that short workings. But due to less royalty, we could not recover the short workings. So this 2520 will be transferred to profit and loss account. Now what is the amount paid to landlord? So you have a royalty. Now which one is greater? Royalty is greater, 8400, out of which you could recover 2520 short workings. Remaining will be paid to landlord, that is 6720. Okay, so hope you are clear. Next, 2001, 11,200 into 1. So 11,200 into 1, it is 11,200. But what is the minimum rent? So minimum rent is 5,600 plus 560 plus 560 and plus 560. Okay. So what is the minimum rent then? That is 7,280. So here also royalty is greater than minimum rent. So here royalty is greater than minimum rent. So we have an excess amount, so we can recover the short workings. Now we have to recover this short workings, 1,960. Okay. Now how much excess we have? 11,200 minus 7,280. Now what is the excess amount we have? 11,200 minus 7,280. So 11,200 minus 7,280. So the excess amount is 3,920. So 3,920 is the excess amount we have. But we have short workings of only 1,960. So we could recover full 1,960 from this 3,920. So we shall recover this 1,960 fully, we can recover. So nothing is transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, now what is the amount paid to landlord? 11,200 minus 1,960. So 11,200 minus 1,960. So we'll get 9,240. So 9,240 can be transferred to landlord. Okay, so this is how we are going to solve. Next, coming to 2002. So 3,920 into 1. So into 1 we'll get royalty of 3,920. But what is the minimum rent? So minimum rent is 5,600 plus 560 plus 560 plus 560 and plus 560. So the total minimum rent is how much? 7,840. So here minimum rent is greater than royalty. So minimum rent is greater than royalty. So we have a short workings of how much? That is 7,840 minus 3,920. You'll get a short workings of 3,920. Now what is the amount paid to landlord? Either minimum rent or royalty, whichever is greater, will be paid to the landlord. So here 7,840, that is minimum rent, will be paid to the landlord. So hope you are clear with the royalty table. Now we shall directly go through the ledger accounts. Now first we have to prepare the landlord account. Now what are the entries we have to prepare under? Now first we shall see minimum rent is greater than royalty. Now which one is payable? Minimum rent is payable. So what is your entry? Minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. So minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. So how we are going to write? By minimum rent. How much? What is the minimum rent? It is 5,600. So by minimum rent 5,600. Next, so after that, so this is the first entry. Next, what you have to record? So this minimum rent contains short workings, account debtor. Then it also contains royalty account data to minimum rent account. First I'll write all the journal entries to minimum rent account. So this will be the second entry when minimum rent is greater than royalty. Okay, next third entry is what you are actually making payment to landlord. So your entry will be landlord account data to bank account. So this will be the third entry. After that you are going to transfer the royalty to profit and loss account. So profit and loss account data to royalty account. Now we shall see all the entries relating to first year. So first entry is what? Minimum rent account data to landlord account. So how do you write in landlord account? By minimum rent. And what is the minimum rent? 5,600. So you have written here. Next, second entry is what? Short workings account data, royalty account data to minimum rent account. So before that we shall see the first entry itself. So in landlord account you will write by minimum rent. In minimum rent, how do you write? In minimum rent account, you will write it as to landlord account. And what is the amount? 5,600. Hope you are clear with the first entry. Now come to the second one. Short workings account data, royalty account data to minimum rent. Now how do you write in minimum rent account? So in minimum rent account you will write by royalty by short working. That is 1,400 and 4,200. So how did you get 1,400 and 4,200? If you see the analytical table, so 1,400 is royalty, 4,200 is short workings. Okay. So this is about minimum rent. Now how do you write in short workings account to minimum rent? So in short workings account you will write it as to minimum rent 4,200. Whereas in royalty how do you write? To minimum rent. So what is the royalty? To minimum rent 1,400. So hope you are clear with the second entry. Now come to the third one. You are going to make the payment. That is landlord account data to bank account. So how do you write in landlord account to bank account? What is the amount payable to landlord? 5,600. So I'll write 5,600. Next, profit and loss account data to royalty account. Now how do you write in royalty account? By profit and loss account. So by profit and loss account 1,400. Now hope you are clear with all the first entries. Okay, so we are done with royalty. Next, in short workings account you are going to carry it down. Okay, so 4,200, whereas in the credit side by balance carried down 4,200 because you have only one entry. Now coming to the landlord account, so we are done with both the side 5,200 and 5,200. So next minimum rent account also we are done with 5,200 and 5,200. Hope you are clear with the first year. So I have told you, you have to know the journal entries. Now come to the next situation. So second year is what? Here also minimum rent is greater than royalty, correct? So what amount is payable? Minimum rent is payable. So what is the entry? Minimum rent account data to landlord account. So how do you write? By minimum rent account. So what is the minimum rent? 6,160. So write that 6,160. So this is. Next, your entry is what? In minimum rent account you will write it as to landlord account. So in minimum rent you will write it as to landlord account 6,160. Now coming to the second entry, short workings account data, royalty account data to minimum rent. So in minimum rent account how do you write? By short workings, by royalty. So by royalty 4,200, by short workings 1,960. So both the sides is equal now. Now come to the third entry, we are making payment to the landlord. So before that, in short workings account, how do you write? Short workings to minimum rent. Short workings to minimum rent, how much? First you will bring down the balance because you have already carried down amount 4,200. So bring down the balance, then you will write to minimum rent 1,960. Whereas you will get 6,160 here. Whereas in the credit side you have to carry down the amount. So by balance carried down 6,160. So short workings account is done. Now again royalty account to minimum rent. So in royalty how do you write? To minimum rent 4,200. Okay, so we are done with this. Now come to the third entry, landlord account data to bank account. So in landlord account, how do you write? To bank account 6,160. So here we are closing the account. Next, we are no need to prepare the bank account. Next, coming to the last entry, profit and loss account data to royalty account. So how do you write in royalty account? By profit and loss account. So by profit and loss account, 4,200 is the royalty. So hope you are clear with this. Now come to the third entry. So here royalty is greater than minimum rent. Then what is the amount payable? Royalty is payable. So what is the entry? Royalty account data to landlord. So if any short workings is recovered, then to short workings account. So this will be the first entry. Coming to the second one, you are making payment to landlord. So landlord account data to bank account. So this will be the second entry. Third entry is for what? That is, you are going to transfer the royalty to profit and loss account. So your entry is profit and loss account to royalty account. So this will be the third entry, profit and loss account data to royalty account. Next, your fourth entry is for what? Here there is a short workings which is not recovered. So you have to transfer that short workings to profit and loss. So your fourth entry is profit and loss to short workings. Short workings. So this will be the entry. Now we shall go through the entry one by one. Now come to the first entry under third year. So your entry is royalty account data to landlord to short workings. So royalty is 8,400, to landlord 6,720, to short working is 2,520. How do you write under landlord? By royalty. So you will write it as by royalty 6,720. Next, in royalty, you will write it as to landlord to short workings. So in royalty, you will write to short workings to landlord. So it is 8,400. Next entry is landlord to bank. So in your landlord account, you will write to bank account 6,720. Now both the sides are equal now. Next entry is profit and loss account to royalty. That is, in royalty, you will write it as by profit and loss. So by profit and loss 8,400. So both the sides are equal. Next entry, profit and loss to short workings. So how do you write in short workings? By profit and loss. So in short workings, how do you write? By, that is, you will bring down the balance first. So there is a carried down balance. Next, by royalty account, how much? 1,680. By profit and loss account, 2,520, and balance carried down. So balance carried down is 1,960. So how we are going to write? So by royalty account, that is 1,680. By profit and loss account, 2,560, because you have short workings also. So if you see here, so short workings, how do you write? By royalty, and here you will write by profit and loss account. Remaining amount will be carried down. Now come to the 2001. So if you see here also royalty is greater than minimum rent. So same entry you have to follow. So coming to the first one, royalty account. So in royalty you will write it as to landlord to short workings. So in royalty account, to short workings to landlord. So the total is 11,200. So in landlord account, how do you write? By royalty. So in landlord, you will write it as by royalty 9,240. Next, in short workings, how do you write? By royalty. So what is the amount of short workings? So that you will write by royalty 1,960. Next, landlord to bank. So in landlord, how do you write? To bank. So to bank 9,240. So both the sides are equal now. Next, in profit and loss account, that is your next entry is profit and loss account data to royalty. So in royalty, how do you write? By profit and loss. So in royalty, you will write it as by profit and loss 11,200. Next entry, profit and loss to short workings. So in your short workings, how do you write? By profit and loss. So in your short workings account, you will write it as by profit and loss account. That is 2,520. So in the fourth year, you are not going to transfer anything to the profit and loss account. Okay. So no need of last entry. So why no need of last entry? Because you are not going to transfer anything to the profit and loss account. So how we are going to do with the short workings in the last year? So by royalty 1960, same amount you will carry it down here. That is 2 balance carried down, that is 1960. So this is how we are going to write. So 2 balance brought down already you have brought down. Next by royalty you will get 1960. So both sides are equal. Next, so here the last year, so 7,840 and 3,920. Now here minimum rent is greater than royalty. So you have to follow what type of transaction? This transactions you have to follow here. So what is the entry? Minimum rent account data to landlord. So how do we write in 2002? By minimum rent. How much is the minimum rent? 7,840. Whereas in landlord, that is in minimum rent account, how do we write? To landlord account. So to, so what is the first entry? Minimum rent account data to landlord account. So in landlord account, you will write it as by minimum rent 7,840. Whereas in minimum rent account, you will write it as to landlord. So how do we write? To landlord account 7,840. Next entry is for what? Short workings account data, royalty account data to minimum rent. Now how do you write under minimum rent account? By short workings, by royalty. So by royalty 3,920, by short workings 3,920. So the total is 7,840. Next, under short workings, how do you write? To minimum rent. Under short workings, you will write it as to minimum rent 3,920. So here will be 3,920. Next, under royalty, you will write to minimum rent. So under royalty also, you will write it as to minimum rent 3,920. Hope you are clear with the second entry. Now come to the third one, landlord account data to bank account. So in landlord, you will write it as to bank account 7,840. So both the sides are done. Next, you have to transfer that royalty to profit and loss account. So how do you write? Profit and loss account data to royalty account. So in your royalty account, you will write it as by profit and loss account 3,920. So we are done with landlord account completely, royalty account completely. Now coming here, short workings. So we have a short workings of 3,920. Now you have recorded in the debit side, that is to minimum rent 3,920. Whereas in the credit side, we don't have any other entry because that short working is not recovered. So by balance carried down 3,920. So both the sides are tally. So whatever the amount you have carried down, bring down that balance and end your short workings account. That is 3,920. Next, a minimum rent account. So both the sides are equal. So we are done. So in my next session, we shall discuss one more problem on royalty. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's session. See you all in my next session with a new topic. Till then, take care. Thank you.